ติปิโสภะคะวะอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธวิจาจารณสัมปันโนสุขโตโลกวิทูอนุตตโรปุริสรัมมสารติสัทธาเทวมนุสสานังพุทโธภควาติสาธุสาธุ
I'm gonna go check on her now.
Well, once when I was much younger, I visited Ireland and got lost in the country. We went to a very small pub deep in the country. It was very rural, and we were obviously different. There was not a tourist place at all. So a man came up from the group and started speaking to us. Very hesitant, very shy, but he was trying to be friendly and to greet us. And then another gentleman came in, and the first man, with a great sigh of relief, said, "Oh, now he's going to speak to you," and went and sat down on the bench. And the second man was the postmaster of the village, who was also the historian of the village, who spent another more than 1 hour explaining to us the entire history of that village, going back to the first arrival of Christianity in the 6th century of the Common Era, all the way up to the present day. So I feel a little bit that I'm doing a warm-up talk, because I know Ayata Taloka will come out, and I know that she has a lot of power to regale you with the true Dhamma. Do you have any questions or any themes, anything that you would like to hear about?
Tell us what you like.
Well, during this Vesak, we had a very good luck of hearing Dhamma talks from several different bhikkhunis and different monastics. There was one that I thought was so inspiring. I got this from IOC Dhamma, and now I'm going to give it to you. This was about all the mistakes that the Buddha made before his enlightenment. So when the Bodhisattva was in the previous lifetime and made the determination to become a Sammasambuddha, then he started to develop the perfections, right? But even after spending an entire lifetime trying to develop perfection, he still was not a Sammasambuddha. He had to go through another life and another life, through a whole countless eons, plus another 100,000 lives on top of that, again and again, trying to go through different births, going through round of samsara, developing various perfections, is still holding this vow, but not yet being successful. And then even in this lifetime, when the Buddha, the Bodhisattva, was born, and as an infant knew and was able to declare, indeed, this is my last life. And then, I don't know if he forgot about it, in middle childhood, but later as a young man, a 35-year-old man, looked around and made the realization about the extent of suffering in this world, and remembered the aspiration to finally discover the way to completely escape from suffering. And still, he made more mistakes. He went to the different meditation teachers teaching different methods, seeking through meditation, through the formless meditation, or seeking through the torturing the body to obtain awakening. And he did tortures of the body that were more severe than any other ascetic had done, and even so, that still didn't work. So there is a certain way that a big change is coming to us, and we know it's coming. We know the time is coming close. The time is coming closer. And finally we know, yes, this is the time. So if somebody is close to death, they may know that death is approaching, and even during the last days of their life, they may be very aware, yes, death is approaching, and then at the last moment they would know, yes, this is the time. Now we let go of this form, this life is finished. Or if there's a birth, perhaps the mother knows approximately when the baby is coming. And knows it's getting closer, it's coming closer, and then finally knows, yes, this is the time. The birth is beginning. So just the same way, the Buddha, after having made so many efforts without success, having had so many failures, finally came to the moment in which he knew this was the time, this was the place, this was the day for the full awakening, and then sat down under the Bodhi tree with that determination and came to his full awakening and had the success, the realization. So the lesson for us might be not to be discouraged if we fail, not to think, if I don't become an arahant in this lifetime, I will have failed, or whatever I understand about the highest spiritual aspiration. If I can accomplish what I aspire to, oh, this is wonderful, and it's wonderful to attain something and to know it, to realize and experience whatever kind of awakening or realization that we realize. And then at other times, when we see that the old pattern is still there, when we see that we didn't yet wake up, when we were sitting in the retreat center or sitting up in the mountain in our cave practicing deep meditation, it seemed like we were just so close to awakening, or that we had realized something, and then we had to go back to town and be stuck in traffic and be facing different kinds of irritating things. And then we saw, oh, I thought I was awakened, but I still have got some kilesas, some obstructions within me. But we don't have to be afraid of that. We just have to continue making the effort, even for many lifetimes, whatever it takes. Bhante, I think his name is Dhammananda. He's a very famous Sri Lankan monk who was based in Indonesia for a long time. He wrote a lot of books, and one of his slogans is failures help us to succeed. So we can get a mug or a pin or something that says, or a sign, put it in the mirror, say failures help us to succeed, and then don't be sad because we have a failure. Instead, just know to continue going on with our practice. So this is my Dhamma for this afternoon. Katrina, would you like to give a Dhamma talk for a few minutes?
I have something I could add to what you said. So, yeah, while you were speaking, I was just thinking of something I just learned a couple days ago. For all these Vesak online programs, one of them was the Live from India program with our friend Deepak Anand, who has been rediscovering various ancient sites associated with the Buddha's life in India. And one of the things he talked about was the day of the Buddha's awakening, all the things he did that day. You know, we know the story of the offering of the milk rice. He had been practicing such strong austerities and he was so weak, and he decided the austerities were not the right way. And then there was a young girl walking by with milk rice that she offered to him. And so there's the story of him eating that, and the rock where he ate it that I've had the honor to visit, and so forth. And then the place where he threw the bowl into the river, and all of this. And these were all places that I had the benefit of being able to go to when we were in India. And then the next place he went was one that we didn't quite make it to when I was there before, so I was just hearing about it for the first time. And that is Pragbodhi Hill, which is a little bit away from where he ate the milk rice. And it was the first place he went to try and sit down and meditate. Not the site of the Bodhi tree. This was after his meal and before his awakening. He went and sat on this hill. And there are today apparently about 7 or 8 stupas up there, ancient stupas, ruins of them from the Ashokan period. And those 7 or 8 stupas are all the different places where he sat, trying to get like the right vibes or whatever he needed for his awakening on that afternoon. And he sat in these 7 or 8 places, and none of them were right. And then there was a cave a little further down the hill, and he went and sat in the cave, and then I think he had a little encounter with Mara. Mara came and told him, no, this is not the right cave either. So he was just like, he was kind of antsy, kind of, he knew something was coming. He was trying to find the right spot, but it took him a few tries. And I was just sort of so moved by that, moved by the idea of, all these different spaces where he sat down, and now we honor those spaces. And the Emperor Ashoka put up the stupas there to honor those spaces as well that came before he went out to went down the hill, down the river a little ways, sat down under the tree. And that part we know, that story. We know what happened, but we don't hear so much about all those little spots on Pragbodhi Hill. But that was so moving to me to learn that. Anyway, I'm going to stop now because we have our someone else coming. So that's my little Dhamma for you.